Hey everybody, this is Robin from Roaming with Rover, and this is our Finish It Friday video. If you guys remember, Finish It Friday started out as a way for me to get through my whips. The idea was I was going to pull something from my whips and at least once a week work on that item so I could get my whips done. And it did work. I got some whips done, then I got sidetracked with moving and Christmas and blah blah blah. And then Miss Darla challenged a whole bunch of us to pull out all of our whips and show them to you and talk about if we were going to actually do them, or if not, what was their future going to be? What is the future of all of our whips going to be? I started digging and I knew where most of them were, but the funny thing is I've dug everywhere I can think of, and there's still a couple of things that I was not able to find that I know are out there somewhere. They will show up eventually, but for right now I've got a pile of stuff here, and I'm just going to go through things one at a time and show them to you. So my definition of a whip is something that I have put hook to yarn, started working on. Even if it's just I've got the chain done. If I've got the yarn and the hook and the pattern, put it all together, started working on it, and that is a whip, whether it's almost done or just in its brand new stages. You guys saw the picture at the beginning. I got a few of them. I haven't counted them up yet, but it just bugs me that I know there's a couple more, because I remember working on them and no clue. So they could be out in the garage somewhere. They could have got put in a room that has no business having yarn stuff in it. I'll come across them someday. But anyway, here we go, in no particular order, just as I can grab them. They're all that way, and I'll just grab them, show you, talk about it, and move it over there. So there's going to be some up and down movement during this one. Okay? All right, here we go. Whips. Thank you, Darla. All right, so the first one that I'm grabbing, and I'm not going to show you the project. There's a couple that I can't even show you the project. But this is the beautiful, lovely yarn. And this is, of course, the yarn that goes with my crochet along that's going to start next month. So can't show you this one, but I can show you the beautiful yarn. Okay, so we'll just set that over. Here's a spot. Boy, it's going to take me some time to put all this stuff together. Oh, we should keep a tab and see how many we actually have. Should we do that? All right, so that's one. All right. That one, of course, was right here in the house right next to me, because I do work on that as we're going along. This box was out in the shed, because I've got some yarn out in the shed in totes. And I do have marked on each one of the totes what's in there, so I was able to find these pretty easy. And I have the yarn, I have the hook width of the project, I have the instructions. So there's a pretty good chance that this could continue. But what this is a sweater that I started. Catalina Cardigan. I don't remember who the designer is. Whoops, there's hooks. I got hooks everywhere, falling all around. Must have had two different sizes of hooks on this one. Put them in the bag with the yarn. And we're using, oh my gosh. Okay, so as I recall, I was getting pretty far on this one. Yeah, look at this. Getting there. So, and this is where I'm at. Oh yeah, so I had done the two sides. And was doing some kind of something here to the middle. Hopefully I have marked on the pattern where I'm at. That's my concern on this one, that I won't be able to find my place on the pattern, because I do want to finish this. Oh, and it doesn't look like I've got anything marked. Oh man, oh man, oh man. We'll see. We'll see what happens to this one. We shall see. I know this is another sweater that I have Got the pattern and the yarn and everything for this is from Make and Do Crew. This is a purchased pattern, and looks like I got a bunch of stuff marked off, so possibly maybe I'll be able to find my place on this one. I hope. This, and I'm making this out of Kobu, and as you can see, this is kind of a hexagon thing. Oh, there's my crochet hook. There's a hexagon. This was a hexagon thing that you kind of made all these little things, and you had to keep track of all the stuff. And I don't know how it ends up working, but this is that. Planning on finishing it again if I can find my place. If not, again, this is another one that I really am liking, so I would probably tear it out and start over. These were ones that I knew were out there, and I knew were going to end up being Finish It Friday projects at some point. So that's a total of 3 now. Let's get that written down. 3. All right. This one is, and it's made out of wool ease. I love the yarn I got for this, but it was a mystery crochet. No, not really a mystery. It was a block of the month, and each month a different designer put the block out, and and it was a different stitch. You can see, and I enjoyed doing it, but here's the problem. Different designers, different stitches. And now I've got blocks that are not the same size and are going to be problematic to get them to fit right to sew together. And after about the third one not being the same size, and sometimes they're off by like 2 inches, I just went, you know what? I don't like sewing blocks together. These are never going to match up well. Maybe after I block every one of them. So no, I decided quite a while ago that I'm not going to finish this as this project. So this is going to get frogged, and there's enough yarn in each of these that I can easily frog it and put it back together, because I've got a lot of yarn in here. I mean, I probably have a dozen skeins of this beautiful woollies yarn in here. So that is not going to get finished. That is going to get frogged, and that yarn is going to go back into rotation. Does that count as a whip? Yeah, it counts as a whip. All right, because we're just totally counting them, not what's going to end up happening to them. Oh, okay. This one is, okay, so we'll start with this. Can you guys see here? We'll start with this. I started this not last year. Was it last year? Was it last March? No, maybe. Either last March or the year before. Can't remember. And I I kind of knew in the back of my mind that it was in existence, but let me turn this a little bit more this way. I didn't want you to see the mess behind me. That's my work desk, so, you know. But I really, really like it, and I'm not going to not do it. Oh, I remember what happened. I had to order more of the thread, and the thread got sent to my daughter's house in Texas instead of to me where I was at. So I kind of had put it by the wayside as well. But this is going to be a table runner. And it's filet crochet. Oh, can you see that? It's a little Easter design table runner. And this is the thread that I'm using. It's so pretty. Let's see if I can get this out here without wrecking anything. And that's how far we are on it. We've got a ways to go on this one. But I did get the extra thread now, and I have enough now to finish the project. And that was my problem, was I didn't want to get too far into it if I couldn't get enough thread to finish the project. And I do know now that I have enough of the thread. So that will go into that project then. All right, so now we're at 5. And here is this is one of my knitting projects. And you guys have probably saw me talk about this before. This is one of the Annie's kits, and it's called the Cozy Cottage Sampler Afghan, and it's knit. So I'm basically trying, and every stripe on here, see all those stripes? Every stripe is a different knit stitch. So I'm trying to teach myself to knit by doing this. Yeah, that was a bright idea. So you can see, as you can see, we did not get very far before it got put aside. But we got that many rows. So this is row 3. I don't even know if I'm done with row 3. And here we are again. I hope I've marked it in the pattern so I know where I am. Okay. It's very pretty though. I really, really like the colors that is. So that's that knit project. Last year, maybe, I started a Nan's Next Knots. I think I got to week 5. And I was doing these. So this was my alternate week, or my base color. And then each week I would do one of these in my Nan's Next Knot color. This is all I got done. And I don't love it. I don't love the hexagons that I'm making. I mean, they're pretty enough, but the pattern itself I struggle with every time I make one of them. And it's a sew as you go, so you don't have a bunch to put together when you're done. But I don't like it. So this is going to be tore out. And I don't know if I'll even be able to rescue this yarn or not. But I've got a whole bunch of yarn here for, I think I'm going to use this for this fall when we do the hag stitch. Dana's going to do another hag stitch. And my hag stitch blanket is one of those things that I cannot find. I started it. I had a lot of problems with it. Not the blanket itself, the yarn that I picked. And can't find it because I was going to tear that out and start it over. I cannot find that thing. No idea. And I worked on that here, right here in this living room. No idea where it is. So this is going to get frogged. And I have an idea for the yarn that gets pulled out of this. Because, you know, each one of these, it's not enough to do anything with. But I saw a scrap gan that I think the yarn from here would be perfect for. Because, you know, it's one of those where you just add on as you go no matter what you do. And usually I don't like the scrap gowns, but this one caught my eye and I enjoyed it. So I think I'm going to start one of those scrap gowns for all these bits and pieces of stuff. Maybe. We'll see. Who knows? So that was my Nan's Next Knots. That was my adventure into that. That didn't go well. Okay. I wanted to show you this. Sorry about all the crinkling, but there's no way to avoid it when I'm moving all this stuff around. 1, 2, there should be a third one. 1, 2. Where is it? 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 Oh, come on. I know I've got another one. Where did it go? I just saw it. See? I've already... For heaven's sake. Okay, well, I'll show you these 3. And then when I find the other one, because it's in here somewhere. It's in this stuff somewhere. All right, so I showed you the Annie's sampler knit blanket. This... Where is it? What do I have here? Okay, I've got this. I've got this. Here it is. Here it is. I was looking for the wrong thing. Okay, I was looking for the wrong thing. This is the Annie's sampler crochet blanket. Do I have it finished? No, of course not. Of course not. But I actually think I was taking pretty good care of where I was in the pattern on this one. So, same kind of deal, where you got many, many, many stripes, and each stripe is a different crochet stitch. I'm much farther along on this one, and I'm not having problems with it at all. And I've got every month you get one of these little bags with 3 skeins of yarn and the instructions for that month. I have all the yarn for this project. On the knit one, I have one more mailing coming, and it's for the border. So let's see if I can take this out. Oh, see, the yarn comes in a packet like that. Let's see if I can take this out. Oh, so dusty. Everything that was in the motorhome is so dusty. Yeah, so here's the beautiful color, and that's how far I got. So I don't need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 stripes out of 30. But it's beautiful, and I love it, and I'm absolutely going back to finish this. Absolutely. So hopefully I have marked on. Yeah, I think I probably finished that row, finished that last section, so I'm ready for the next one. And hopefully I know which hook. But I think I was doing really good at making notes and what hook I was using and stuff like that. Worst case, I can go back to some of my old videos because I had all that information in those videos. Now here's the funny thing about this. This was the original kit. Okay? This is the original kit that I bought that came with the original yarn. Same blanket, different colors that I put together myself because I wanted to give this as a Christmas present to somebody. Oh, there's my hook is stuck in there. There's my hook. Set that down. And this is how far we got with it. Exact same pattern. So it's beautiful. And if you look on their website, they've got one done in these exact colors because I copied it just as close as I could get for these Christmas colors. Because I had a friend tell me how much she loved these colors. So I thought, okay, I'm going to make one for her. So it's coming along nicely. And actually, if I remember this particular stripe, now I'm going to put cross stitches on it. So I don't know how to do that. And I was very excited to learn how to do that. So number 2 of the exact same blanket. See, now I quit writing them down. I've already lost track. I think it's just those 2 more. Okay, let's get the hook in there where it belongs. Okay, so that's number 2. And just for funsies, a couple of the grands are learning how to crochet, and I thought, they've got the basics down. What better way than to do a sampler blanket to learn a bunch of different stitches? So we started another one. This one is supposed to be the exact same thing, and they're in different cities. So we're supposed to be having Zoom meetings and moving along to each section. We've got the first stripe done. That's what happens when your crochet buddies go to school. Because, oh look, there's a hook. Because it's hard to connect with them. It's hard to keep up with them. So 3 of the exact same blanket that I'm working on. This one may or may not ever actually get finished. But all 3 are projects that I do plan on continuing. The third one, wouldn't matter either way. It was just a trainer for someone. Okay? But they are enjoying doing it. And they have asked me, when are we going to get together and do this? Okay, this one, I don't know if you guys want, if this one counts or not, but I was digging through my stuff and I came across this. This is a cross stitch. I love cross stitch. And that's what I used to do more than anything, was cross stitch. And this is almost finished. So the top is finished. Oh my gosh, that's beautiful. As you can see, it's lavender fields. That is so pretty. The top is finished, completely finished. I need to make it into a pillow. Not quite sure how to do that. So I need to do some research figure out how to make this into a pillow thingy. Or maybe, possibly a wall hanging? Possibly a wall hanging. I kind of like that as a wall hanging. We'll have to see. Maybe you guys have some suggestions for me how to finish this up. I'm real good at doing, especially with my cross stitch, I'm real good at getting this done but not finished. But I love it. It really turned out pretty, as you can see. How old is this, you ask? I remember working on it when I had a surgery probably 14 years ago. So that's done. Not quite done. Done. Okay, what's in here? Okay. A lot of you guys have heard about Sophie's Universe. You know, a lot of folks are making that right now. Have you ever heard of her sister? No? Well, her sister's name is Charlotte. And Charlotte has her very own blankie, which I am doing in one, two, three colors. And Charlotte's blankie is called Charlotte's Universe. And I started this last year. And this is how far I got. Isn't that beautiful? So pretty. So pretty. Lots of stitch markers, keeping count on stuff. Here's the problem. I love this and I do want to do it. I have no instructions in this box. None at all. Which tells me I was either trying to do it from the video, and I remember watching the video quite a bit, and I may not have printed any instructions out at all. Which also tells me I have no idea where I'm at in the pattern. I have no idea what row I'm on. I got no clue. No clue at all. But isn't that beautiful? I could probably figure it out. I could probably easily go back to this and figure out where I'm at. That's probably what I'll end up doing. Because it almost looks like we're getting to like maybe a side point thing here. Because we're getting smaller. I bet you I could figure it out. Even if I got to tear back a little to the main square. So this is Sophie's sister, Charlotte. This is only 1 year old. I started this last winter. I remember starting this last winter. We're running out of floor space, peeps. We are not running out of whips. Let's write that down. Well, we're up to 10, if I counted right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We missed one, so we're up to 11. 12. We're up to 12. Okay, let me bring a few more over here, a few more bags. There's one, there's a bag, you get a bag, and you get a bag, and you get a bag, and you get a bag. Bring some more bags over, some more bags, some more bags, and some more bags, and some more bags. Okay. This is the last of it. All right, this one, you guys all know about this one. This one's not even old. Hard to even call it a whip, but it is. Because this is Sophie's Universe. So Charlotte's sister, Sophie. And Sophie is coming along swimmingly. But as you know, we had to give her a little vacation because of all the stuff I got going on right now. So as I remember, I have just started, just barely gotten to the beginning of round 4 with her. Just barely starting round 4. So pretty. We still love you, Miss Sophie. So this is absolutely going to get finished. And not even, I mean, it's hardly, yeah. Okay, what's over here? Oh, let's talk about this. This is something else you cannot see. This is the Murder Mystery Crochet Along that I'm working on right now, and it's called the Murder at Rosewood Manor. And it is ongoing. Right now I'm on week 3. We are not allowed to show it as we go in deference to the pattern designer. It's an ongoing project right now. This is week 3 of 9, I think, either 9 or 10. It's going. It is going. I'm up to date. I am caught up with each of the drops. It drops once a week. So this is that. I think I've showed you the yarn before, perhaps, that I'm using. That I can show you. This is the yarn that I'm using. So that's what color it's going to be. Mine is all one color. So this is the color that it's going to be. So that is actually something I'm actually working on as we speak. Okay, so let's write that one down. This. I don't know about this. It was supposed to be a simple project that I could work on while I was talking or watching videos or doing something. And it was also to help something that I could teach the grands how to crochet with this project. It's a cocoon sweater. It's a very simple granny square cocoon sweater. Problem is I don't love it. It's not horrible, and it's definitely doing what it was meant to do, which was give me something mindless to do. And so I'll probably still finish it. I don't hate it. I'm just not in love with it. So I don't know. It's probably in the neighborhood of half done. So yeah, I'll probably finish it. It's not awful. And I always need something to work on that is mindless, there's not a lot of counting. The only thing I got to do is be careful at the corners, make sure I do those corners correctly, because I've been known to mess those corners up. Okay, let's see what else we got over here. Oh yeah, this is a knit project, another knit project. This is going to be a blanket. And this is a very, very simple pattern. Mostly just some straight knits and pearls, knits and pearls. I'm using that Woolies Thick and Quick. This is a big ball of yarn. Woolies Thick and Quick. I got it on a really, really good sale. And Lynette from, oh my gosh, Charm Gramming Crochet. This is a project that she's kind of doing. And it's called the Fall Cuddler Chunky Blanket Easy Pattern. This was a free pattern, so I can show it to you. Look, I know where I'm at on it. I've made notes. This is one I really enjoy. I started it, I went to visit a friend, and I needed to take something with me that I could just sit and mindlessly do. And I knew I wanted to get started on this. So this is something that's going to be pretty high up in the getting worked on process. Because I really do like it. I like this, and I got the yarn special for this project. So that's one that will get finished. See, really and truly, there's not very many of them that I'm going to pull out. What, 2 so far? Those gray blocks and the Nan's Next Knot. It's not too bad out of all of it. Yeah, and maybe, I'm afraid that one sweater. Okay, ooh, what is this? Oh, yes. This is the Luscious Beautifulest yarn that we're using for Dana's fruit garden. So that's the fruit garden cowl. Yeah. And of course, I'm behind on that. I got all of the first set of squares done, and everybody else has moved on to the second set of squares, and I haven't touched it in 2 weeks because I've been working on those other projects. That mystery thing's taken me more time than I anticipated. So that for sure is one that's going to get finished. Oh, put that right here. And what do we got in here? Okay, this is weird. This is weird. Because I went to visit my friend one day. The same friend that I started that knitting project on. And I had taken this project with me. And it was too small. I couldn't really see what I was doing at her house. So the next time I went over there, I took that big blanket, the knit blanket with the great big yarn that I could easily see what I was doing. So these both literally got started 2 weeks apart from each other. This is the, I know you guys have seen it, from Tangled Poets, the hand-dyed yarn where you buy this pack. It's called the Pickle Jar. Pickle Jar Designs. And this is a knit, another one of those knit things where you just start it and go. You just go. You just knit, back and forth. And you just randomly grab one of these minis as you go. Well, I see my minis. I see my instructions. I don't see the project. You'd think they'd be together in the same bag. Oh, okay. Well, here's the answer. There's the project. I could not see what I was doing in her house. I remember that distinctly. So that's as far as I got on the project. So apparently I pulled it knowing I was going to just start over anyway. And hopefully I put the knitting needles somewhere else, because I don't see the knitting needles in here. I don't see them in this bag at all. 4mm 24-inch circular needles. I hope I put them, because I remember buying the needles specially for this project. But anyway, pickle jar. And you just make a big old long scarf. I was thinking about making a cowl instead of a giant scarf. I don't know. We'll see. Because the scarf on these things go really, 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 really long. You end up with a scarf that's really long. And I was thinking about just making a cowl a certain size and then like Kitchener stitch in the end together. So yeah, that's one that's going to happen. It's low down on my list, but definitely it's going to happen. This would be a good travel. Actually, that would be a very good traveling project because easy instructions, very little count. In fact, no counting at all. Once you get it cast on, you just knit. It's stockinette, so you just go till it gets as long as you want and you're done. So that's definitely a good project for that. That's a really good travel project. Have to keep that in mind. Okay, and this is the last one. Oh, okay. Well, this is one that I thought I had lost. So this was supposed to be last year's hag stitch. Dana's Wanderlust Crochet. This was her hag stitch. And I loved the design. I loved the pattern. But here was the problem. I had this yarn, this Hirschner's Cheerful DK, and I liked it. And I was going to make this for one of my little grands, one of my younger grands. And I was supposed to, and I also had this Brava Sport Weight, which to me, these were the same weight, right? They're both 3s, no problem. So this was my base color, and then I had all these very, very bright, beautiful, I don't know if you can see them, all these beautiful bright colors that I was going to use for in between. But here's what happened. First of all, it ended up being way too small across, and they worked up differently. So the beautiful color, and you can see right here on the edge, the beautiful color ended up not as wide as the cream. So this thing was just an absolute mess. So this is going to get frogged, and if I decide to do it again, I've got to make it much bigger. Obviously, this is not a blanket size. Maybe not even a baby. Let's get real. So I'd have to make it much, much bigger, and I would have to find 2 yarns that work up the same. So that was a learning experience. Just because it says it's the same weight does not mean they're going to work up the same, because this absolutely did not. This is terrible. This thing just looks terrible. Maybe a dog blanket? Maybe a dog blanket. But I hate it. Hate it. This is going to get tore up. And got to figure out what to do. Because I do want to make my grandson a blankie. don't know if I made him one when he was born. He needs a blankie. Perhaps. We'll have to see. I'm sure I made him one when he was born. Because I make all the grands a blankie when they're born. Now, this is all the whips that I could get my hands on. Like I said, I know there's a couple more floating around somewhere. I also know I have a bunch of cross-stitch whips. I do have a bin out in the shed that says miscellaneous, and I think there's some whips in that. A baby blanket that I started that I hated that needs a new home. Somebody else needs to finish that. And I know in there, like I said, I've got some cross-stitch things that I've started, but they didn't jump out at me when I was digging out stuff. So this is primarily, other than this one thing that needs to be turned into a pillow, this is all cross-stitch, all yarn type things. If I counted correctly, I have 18 whips here, which isn't bad considering 1, 2, 3, 4 if we count Sophie are actually in process, things we're working on, but we can't count Sophie because she's been put. So we're actually working on 3 right now. So we have 15 actual what people think of as whips that are not in the actual being worked on process. And that's not counting all the things I actually want to work on, that I have patterns and yarns set aside ready to go. Nope, these are things that I've actually started. So we are never going to run out of projects for Finish It Friday. Never, never, ever. However, in my list of things to do this year, several of these projects are included in that list. This big one is, the big knitted blanket is, the Christmas, the one with the Christmas colors, that one is in the list. The pickle jar is in the list. I think the cocoon is in the list. So several of these are already in the plan to be worked on. And those sweaters, they've been in the back of my mind to pull, to bring into the list. So I had kind of forgotten about Charlotte, though. I really had. But yeah, there you go. There is this was the actual basis for why I started Finish It Friday. And now you can see why such a thing was created. Thank you, Miss Darla, for dragging me into your whip whatever. Now there's a hashtag for this. I will include the hashtag in the name of the video. I cannot remember the hashtag. It's kind of long. I will include the hashtag in the name of the video, and I will also tag a few other people to show us your whips and tell us what their future is. However, Darla tagged a lot of people, so it's going to be hard for me to find some people that have not been tagged yet. But as of right now, you know what? I think it's down to just that one blanket. Cannot find it. And maybe it was Charlotte that I'm thinking of, because those were the colors I was thinking of. So maybe that is the one blanket. I'll have to go back and look at my old videos and see if I can find it. But I'm sure it was a different one. I don't know. So that's it for this week's Finish It Friday. So now you know how Finish It Friday got started and why I had to start something like that. There was a very good reason why I had to start something like this. And we are never going to run out of projects on Finish It Friday. Thank you so very much for joining. And if you get tagged, I really hope that you will play along. And even if you don't get tagged, maybe you're one of those people who don't have a lot of whips, tell us about it in the comments below. Which one of these, I'll be interested to get your opinion on the whips that I have in process. If you agree with what I want to do with them, or if you think I ought to do, if you think my decision should be different. Let me know what you think. We'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.